Son of a bitch, eh? All right. Looky here. Do I work in a donut factory? No, I don't. That'd be pretty cool if I did though. Here, let's look at some stuff what I've done here. So far, poured a bunch of grape juice in there. Here, I'm gonna try to not grape juice. Grape juice. Oh, cripes, look at all the grape juice. Hey, you see what I'm saying? See what the theme is here? More grape juice. We got a lot of purple going on here. And there's all black. I mean, it's all covered with interior anyways. So we're to the point of doing some final prep on the body of the car. The doors have had the final block. Where's the other one? There it is. They've had the final blocking done. And then I did have to make some repairs on the insides of the doors. They're a little bit whooped up here and there. The fenders have had the final blocking done, and they are coated on the inside of the fenders. You're not going to see any of this anyways, and it don't make no sense to me to paint them, because once they're stuffed full of tires and suspension and stuff, well, they disappear, right? So this is just a good heavy, I don't know if that's really showing how heavy of a coat that is, but I'll bet you there's a few pounds added to these fenders. Now, if you want to coat the insides of stuff like this and have something that has any kind of longevity to it, don't buy the shit in a spray can. Spray can undercoating, dislike. The biggest reason for that is I'm not sure how they formulate that stuff, but they take some goo like this, and then they thin it down so that they can pump it into a can and then squirt it up through a straw and then out through a little tiny, such a small hole. Oh, the hole's so small, such a small hole. And then it's got to blow back up again like popcorn when it hits the surface. Well, there can't be much going on there anymore, can there? And all that stuff it's just like a sponge. It's very porous, and water will go right through it and right down to whatever's underneath it. These fenders, they got a good coat of epoxy before they got all this stuff. And where is it? This stuff here is some of that. So I buy it in a gallon can, move it into a smaller can like that, and that takes a shit's gun, however you want to say it. It's got a U in it, not an I. I prefer to call it a shit's gun, no, because it's usually for doing shitty work, but that's me. So what we're doing now is we're doing final body prep back over, up periscope. Now, the roof. It is in 180 grit currently. I boarded it. I used my big long Durablock board, and then I moved to a smaller, I'm not going to show you, you've seen them before anyways, board, and currently it is in 180 grit. Now for all the smaller panels, as I said before, I'll put a final coat of primer on them, and then I'll sand that with some 320, and then by hand with some 400 after that. But the roof and probably the hood, I'm not going to do that once I get it blocked out smooth enough. And I mean, you can like this is the way that most people do it. So what I'll do is the 180 grit, and then I use a powdered guide coat, which I have around here somewhere. I'll demonstrate. And I'll put some of the powdered guide coat on it as soon as I find it. Here he is. powder guide coat. Guide coat do the powder with our little applicator tip. Some of this business. Yeah. Smear on there. Now in doing something like this, I like to give it a good rub right into there. And the reason that I want to do that is to get it right into them 180 grit scratches. Try to get it as far into those scratches as possible. Because we're gonna sand this, well, we being me. And you want to sand her until the guide coat is gone and then some. Because it still will bridge a little bit over the scratches. And you can spray balm this if you want. With some black spray balm for a guide coat. You see people do that all the time. I don't know. I mean, I think the biggest reason that people do that is because everybody likes to spray zebra stripes all over stuff. I'm not a zebra stripe guy. I don't know. I'm not racist, but I'm not a zebra stripe guy. So anyways, what we're going to do here is I'm not going to block that with the block and the blocking and the blocking with all the blocking because I don't want to. And I know that it's pretty damn straight. And this car is not going to be, I don't know, it's not, this isn't a wicked super bitchin' trailer it everywhere and put it in the shows car, even though the bottom side of the car has 2 coats of clear on it. But whatever. Anyways, so I know that the roof it's good. Like I said, I boarded it and then I blocked it, and now I'm gonna burn over it with the sander as soon as I find out. Am I looking disorganized? As soon as I find out where my sander is. Oh, and some paper. We'll need paper. Here's some paper. Oh, there's my sander. Look at that. Here comes some hair. Now again, I've discussed before that I have numerous sanding pads, and this one, back in soft pad. Softy, I know softy. Better have one more crank off the coffee before we do this. It's morning here. Get the frogs out of there. It's February, there's no frogs here. Need a haircut too. Now, if you're going to be doing stuff like this, with something like this here, you keep it moving on the surface. Wax on, wax off, little Jimmy wax off, whatever you want to, however you want to put it. Don't keep it moving. Don't dwell on edges because you'll clean body lines and stuff right off. Primer is very soft. It's a very soft product. I don't know how to. Whatever, it's a soft product. It sands off there really quickly. So keep this thing moving, or you will put little waves and little ripples in it that you're going to see. All right? You feel me? And don't have it whipping around like that and then touch the surface, because it'll just be like a chainsaw hitting it. Put it on the surface, hit your trigger, give her the business. Hey, look at what I'm seeing as I'm doing this. See how the scratches are still there from the 180? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Yeah, get me? You smelling what I'm stepping in? So over the years, a lot of people, just because they like to say stuff, they would refer to this as power blocking something. I don't consider it power blocking because you're not blocking it, you're sanding it with a sander. A block is when you use something that's flat and lengthy and the block. You know what I'm saying? Guys that do this, you know, like they got baggy pants and stuff, and you wonder, well, why don't they wear a belt? Why doesn't that fellow wear a belt while he's doing this? You know why we don't wear a belt? Because if I had a belt on right now, I'd just strung it up into a noose and I'd be hanging from the rafters doing this shit right now. You know? All right, something else. Where the hell did it go? If you're doing this, if you've done quite a bit of it, you know that a lot of this stuff is done by a sense of feel, sense of touch, right? You feel your body work, make sure it's nice and smooth. I'm right-handed. My sense of touch has always been better in my right hand, but my right hand's kind of bitched up now because quite a while ago I fell off my paint booth, and in all my immenseness in hitting the ground, I broke my finger. And that's how they fixed it. Nice work, boys. That's what they done to me. So it kind of, see what I'm saying there? So that I can't really feel nothing with this hand anymore. So I use this hand. Anyways, what I'm getting at is 173 years ago, an old fella told me, if you can't quite feel what you're doing, get yourself a nice soft towel, a paper towel, a fairly thin towel, such as this right here. Put it on your surface, and feel your surface through that towel. Now, it's got to be a smooth towel so it doesn't catch the surface. Not a gritty, cheap hunk of shit paper towel off a roll, like a nice. And you can just go back and forth. And I don't know why, but, and this is for true, for some reason, having the towel between your pecker tone and the surface, it magnifies what's on the surface for some reason. So if there's a little, if you're rubbing it this way and you can't feel nothing, you might not, you know, there might be something there that you're not picking up with the tone. But you put a towel on there and for some reason it magnifies the surface. A lot of guys call bullshit on that. I call bullshit on their bullshit because it does. But yeah, so if you really want to make sure, you give her one of these. Generally on a smaller top panel, what I'll do is I'll spray it down the degreaser and look at it. Because the degreaser is so thin on the surface that it always looks worse in the degreaser than it's going to look painted. So if you spray degreaser, excuse me, on a panel, oh again, coffee, and it looks really good, well when you paint it, it's going to be bitching. If it looks really bad in the degreaser, well it's not going to be quite as bad painted, but it ain't going to be good. But anyway, so there, that's some final prep action. Like I said, the roof is all due this way, and probably the hood, maybe the trunk lid as well. But the doors, the fenders, the quarters, yada yada. I will be doing the final block with the block. I'm hoping to, today's Tuesday, I'm hoping here by the end of the week to dump more grape juice on some more stuff here. So, yeah, if you're digging it, then I'll show you that. I guess that's it. Cut.